Howdy, howdy, and happy 4th of July weekend. I thought it would be fun to make a meme deck today with some specifications that we're only going to use red, white, and blue. That is the Thorwing, Sulfera, and Boundless orbitals. So I thought that would be really fun. And we'll also, since I just did a Codex video, which you'll see in the top right side of the video here, I just did a video on how to use the Codex to build a deck. And now we can actually see that in play. So I'm going to build a deck, and we're going to call this deck USA, USA, USA. So I'm just going to go here and just automatically go here. And in the notes, I'm just going to say happy 4th. And I'm going to go ahead and call it a meme deck. There we go. All right. So I did that pretty fast, but when you go into the deck, you can create, when you go to decks, you can go to my decks and then build deck, right? You can see the one I went ahead and just started up right here. So I guess it's got an autosave. That's pretty cool there. All right, so we obviously have nothing in our deck, so we need to add something. So we're gonna go to the top right, edit. And of course, if you just click build deck, it'll start here. All right, and as a refresher, we want 50 cards. And again, I said we're only gonna use red, white, and blue. So Sulfera, Boundless, and Thorwing. We're only going to use these orbitals. So in the deck builder, I'm just going to keep these selected. Normally we could go into other orbitals and use non-core cards. However, that's not very American of you. So we're just going to stay red, white, and blue. And then maybe the exception being the first, because anytime you run a multicolor deck, you want to make sure you're using the first. So actually, let me go ahead and throw that in here. So I'm going to search for the first, and we're going to go ahead and add that to the deck. Now, I also, because we love America, and by the way, if you're international, don't take my love of America as hatred towards you. You do you, boo. But I will celebrate the holiday appropriately by making this deck. We need to have Thorwing Thunderbeak. This is a little bit of a meme card. When you see this on Whatnot or on YouTube, folks will call this the American bird. It kind of looks like a bald eagle. Some people say it's Trump as a bird. I don't see that, but I think this card is a must for our America July 4th deck. So we're going to add him. He is a primary. We're going to add 2 of them. Now, as a starting point, if it's a primary, I always add 2. I err on the side of let's build out a deck, go over 50 cards, and then cull down what we don't need. Because sometimes you'll see a deck take multiple directions, and then when you have to cull cards out, you have to start taking out combos. And then you kind of tighten the deck from there. But since this is America, we're going to do red, white, and blue, and we're going to do Thorwing Thunderbeak. He's going to be our key card here. And let's see if we can build a deck around him. He's got the ability on arrival, stun target wonder in this realm, which means you tap it, you turn it sideways, and it has 0 for the rest of the round. Now, that doesn't mean it still can't. That doesn't mean it can't attack. Okay, I believe it still can attack. In fact, let me go ahead and look that up right now. Okay, yes, I just checked. I double checked. I didn't want to get it wrong for the video. It can still attack. Stunning is simply tapping it. Which means it can't use its tap ability if it has a tap ability, and it goes to 0. Now, an interesting thing with that, I didn't realize this the first couple times we did stun when we were playing in the early days. I say early days, it was like 2 months ago, is that if it has a minus counter on it, if the wonder that you're stunning has a minus counter on it, since you're reducing its base power to 0, the minus counter takes it negative. And remember, in Wonders of the First, if a card goes negative on its power, it dies. So a great combination with stun cards is minus 1 counter cards, or cards that take it to negative power. This is also flying, so we'll want to keep that in mind when we think about like sea fly nests that land, cards that come in and out and get positive tokens. So first things first, let's see if we can build a stun deck, because we don't want to just build around Thorwing, right? It's a 1 in 25 shot we're going to draw him. We want to build a deck around stunning. That way Thorwing is kind of a part of the army, so to speak. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go to the card text, and I'm going to look for the stun ability. And all the cards come up, but I'm just going to do red, white, and blue. Normally I wouldn't, because we can use non-core cards from Helios, Petria, or Umberthine, but since we are, again, 4th of July, red, white, and blue only. So let's look at what we got for stun. And just at a quick glance, stun is primarily a Thorwing ability. So we've got Arius, which is whenever you seek, you stun a target enemy. And this is pretty good if you have a lot of seek effects, because then you can just keep things stunned with 0 power. So even if someone throws down a Divine Bloodbearer on the board with 13 power, you just seek your next turn, stun it, it's now worth 0. And then maybe put a negative on it. So put a pin in the negatives. We're going to see if there's any negative cards. But whenever you seek, stun target enemy. This is another potential combo here. Maybe we can throw in not only some stun ability cards, but also some seek cards. So I'm going to put a pin in that as well. Let's go ahead and add Arius. He is 8 cost, 7 with the Thorwing link, but he's got 6 power. So he or she, I don't know if I say he, can have some strength behind it. All right, Frost Savage, the Blizzard's Wrath. I got a foil of this and it is gorgeous. And then it says on round start, you may stun target wonder. So if you can get him out early, he can be very powerful in just keeping a wonder stunned. Just keep in mind, it is stun target wonder. So anything that targets, if they have, for example, a feline, what is it called? Feline of the something or other. Let me just look that up real quick. Here we go. Feline entity. Yeah. This is whenever any of your wonders are targeted, it's nullified. It's essentially countered if you play Magic, unless they spend 2 energy. And this card has gotten me in a lot of trouble. I don't mind playing this card, or against this card. A lot of folks hate playing against this card, but this card really makes me think. And I think this is where good sportsmanship really needs to be developed, not only in yourself, but also your children if you have kids. And that when cards like this are played, it's very frustrating, but it also gives you the opportunity to figure out how to play around it. How do I play the cards I want to play while still saving 2 energy if I need to destroy Feline or nullify it or do anything like that? So anyways, going back to our stun cards, if we go back to Frost Savage, it does say stun target wonder. I'm pretty sure Arius does too, right? Yeah, so anyways, stun target. So it has target. So you just have to keep that in mind. It's not stun everything in this realm. It's stun target wonder. All right. So it has stun. So let's go ahead and add it to the deck. And this is a legendary. So we're just going to add 1. Now we have Kairos Mistral. Stun target wonder. It's a tap ability. Stun target wonder in this realm. It is a 1 cost. So it's good to have some that are cheap. Because we want to make sure we have a low power curve as well. So I think we'll go ahead and include this one. This is 2 primaries. It is a primary, so we'll just do 2 of them. And then we've got Marinus of Thorwing. So we've got the other Thorwing first form as well. Whenever you portal a wonder. All right, Marinus of Thorwing gives, whenever you portal a wonder, stun target enemy. This is great, obviously, for portal decks, but I don't think we're going to have room for portaling, so we'll keep her in mind. Maybe we end up going portal stun. But I think if we go seek stun, along with some flying, which is not portaling, we might have something there. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and add her just to think about it. But she's on my list. All right, and then we got Stormforged Siege Beast. Let's see here. Equipped Wonder gets +4 when Equipped Wonder attacks. Stun target enemy in this realm. So this is, it gives you +4. It is a 6 cost though. We've already got some expensive cards. So if you put out an expensive card and then you put an expensive equipment on top of it, and then you got an attack to make its ability go off, ooh, that's a little bit much. This would be great in a Helio deck where items are discounted. For our deck, I think it's going to be too expensive. So we're going to go ahead and skip it. We've already got good old Thunderwing, and then we've got Thunderclap Flash. You got about to get thunderclapped. Stun target wonder. So this is great because it's only 2 cost. It is a spell, but you just use it and it goes away. There are ways to get spells back. So stun target wonder. I think this is a great one. It's a secondary as well, so we can just keep stunning people. So let's go ahead and add 3 of those. That way we have our wonders that we can use. We can tap to stun. We can seek to stun. We can play a spell to stun. We are basically making a stun lock deck, which could be fun. Could be frustrating to play against. But now notice that we are only blue, so we do want to try to get some more white and reds in here. But let's see. So Arius says whenever you use a seek effect, stun target enemy. So if we can do double duty where we can play a wonder, seek to get another card out, plus use that to stun an enemy, we're doing multiple things with 1 action. And you really need to keep in mind your action economy. That is how you use your actions, because played over 7 rounds, you only get 3 actions per round, which means you only get 21 choices, unless you obviously have something that gives you more actions, but you're only going to take 21 actions throughout the whole game. So anytime you can duplicate one action doing multiple things is a super big help. So again, play a wonder with seek a card. You get to play that card if you pull it. Then with that seek, you get to stun. That's a huge benefit. So I think seek is very underrated right now. So let's see what we have with seek. And again, we're only sticking with red, white, and blues. Okay, so we got Blindsworth Gold Scale here, and this is actually funny because this is not a seek card. This is an example of, you might pull a card, you're like, why does it say seek? Why is it showing up when I search seek? But it doesn't have the seek ability. It's because it's in the flavor text, and I can't point to it because as soon as I mouse off. But look at the bottom of the card. It says, keep pushing, Stone Seeker, riches await. The search function also searches flavor text. So just make sure, be aware of that. So we're obviously not playing Blindsworth. Captain Izzy, let's see what she's got. On attack, so you do have to attack. So you have to do an action to play her, and then an action to attack to make the ability fire off. Let's see if it's a good ability. Defending player chooses flee or surrender. If flee, this gets +7. If surrender, seek 1 a card. So this one, it's a beautiful art, but I just haven't gotten to see this really perform in the way I think it should be performed. Because if you're already winning with power, then the opponent's just going to choose flee. And if they're going to surrender, you get to seek 1 a card, but they may let you do that because they may let you win and take the stone, because then they can just get the stone back. But if you play a card, they have to deal with that card as well. So in many instances, in fact, I think all instances I've seen Captain Izzy, the opponent's always chosen flee, and I've always chosen flee too. Because for me, in the decks that I play, it's easier to get a stone back than it is to deal with whatever card's coming out, because it is seek 1 a card. Which I didn't even say what seek is. I apologize if you don't know what that is. If you don't know what that is, it means search your pull from the top of your deck, and if you get whatever you're supposed to be seeking, you can play it as though you play it from your hand. And what makes Captain Izzy so powerful is it's seek 1 a card. So it sounds kind of silly, but you seek 1 a card. What's the top card of your deck? Is it a card? Okay, you can play it. Some of them say seek a wonder, which means if you pull the top card of your deck is a wonder, then you can play it. But if it's a spell or an item, it goes to the bottom of your deck. So this is very powerful because basically whatever's on the top of your deck, you get to play for free. But again, your opponent has a vote on whether that gets to happen. So, a little bit tough, especially if you have something that lets you peep the top of your deck. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit tough. Gale Wraith. This comes from the Thalwyn pre-constructed deck. Tap free, seek 2 a Thalwyn Wonder. So this one, it doesn't have flying, but the enemies in this realm also lose flying. This is very situational. It also costs 6 and only has 5 power. So anytime the cost is greater than the power, you really have to weigh how powerful the ability is. For right now, since it's only one of them, I think it's pretty powerful. Tap free, seek 2 a Thalwyn Wonder. So again, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. If there's a Thalwyn Wonder, you get to play it for free. This is coming out to be a very a wonder-heavy deck, so this could be very powerful. This also makes me think that we might look for some abilities that untap wonders. Either untapping or getting them into the abyss and bringing them back out. They come back out untapped. So let's put a pin in that, because I think after this, we'll look to see if anything can help us untap. That will also give us a benefit for something like Kairos, where we can tap and it stuns a wonder, so we can untap her. Hey, we can do it again. So let's go ahead and add Gale Wraith. All right, Pro-Go, tap free, draw a card. Not really what we're looking for. There is the word seek in the flavor text, that's why it's there. Renade Hopmaster. Let's see here. So she's the master of frogs, I guess. On arrival, seek 3 a wonder with cost 2 or less. So we do have a seek ability. Now you may not hit your wonder with cost 2 or less, but if you do, combined with Arius out, whenever you seek stun, so that could be very powerful. My actual recording thing is in front of this, so let me try again. Arius of Thalwyn. Whenever you use a seek effect, so even playing Renade, if you don't hit that seek, that wonder that you're seeking, area still fires off because you're using a seek effect, whether or not the seek is successful. So that's huge. So this is very good because it's a cheap. If you have your Thorwing link, it's free, essentially. It just costs you an action. So let's go ahead and throw her in there, and we can put 2 of her in there. And this is one of the things that I love about Wonders of the First is that this is a common card. It's a powerful card. It's primary, so you can only have 2 of them, but it's common. And that's the thing I really enjoy about Wonders is that some of the most powerful cards are actually common cards. And in fact, many of the decks that I build end up being 750 points because I just like playing those cheap, powerful cards versus trying to combo and dig and scry and whatever else to get to the combo that I want. That's just my play style. So again, just a little shout out that I really enjoy the way Wonders kind of did its rarity system with abilities. All right, Ronin Trichus, I think he's just, let's see here. On arrival, so this just, when he comes into play, seek 2 a Thorwing card. So now this is a Thorwing card. So as long as it's Thorwing, could be a spell, item, or wonder, you can play it for free. It is 7 costs though, right? That's pretty expensive. Let's go ahead and put him in there because there's just 1. But now we got to start thinking about energy. A lot of these cards are coming out to be super expensive. All right, then we got Ryland. Let me, my recording software just keeps covering up text. I can't read it. Okay, there we go. Tap free. Seek 3 a wonder with cost 2 or less. When it arrives, you may portal it to an adjacent realm. This works really well with Marinus of Foulwind because you get to seek. Also, obviously, works well with, you get to portal, which means portal, stun. Then with Arius as well, seek, stun. So you could potentially, with Ryland, Arius, and Marinus out, you could seek, stun, portal, play. You could do a lot of that. Ryland is also attuned Thowlin, which means it doesn't cost an action to play. Action economy is so huge, so I think for right now, we'll add 2 of them in there. Notice that this is really just a blue deck so far, so let's see if we can get some white or red in here. All right, Selva. When you play this from a Seek effect, you may copy that Seek effect. So essentially, you're duplicating the Seek. So if you Seek something with like Rylan and you pull out Selva, then you get to Seek 3 for a wonder again. Okay, so this is a great combination. They do cost 2 with 1 power. So if you draw them, well, you know, it's kind of useless. So let's go ahead and add them. It is a primary, but again, we'll probably, this is another one that'll be on the top of our list. Okay, Spell Broken, unfortunately, just has flavor text. Tempest Bomb. I like this card. I don't think it's going to belong in this deck. When equipped wonder attacks, destroy this and all your wonders. Seek 3 a wonder and put a token copy of that wonder into each realm. So pretty cool if you have a super powerful card. I don't think that's going to work in this deck, so we'll skip it. And here we go. Here's a white card. The Skyseeker Twins. On arrival, seek 3 a spell with cost 2 or less. So we want to get a spell out of this. We do have a couple spells in here. We got the Thunderclap's Flash. Actually, that might be it. So let's take a look. So there's 3 more things we need to make this deck work. We need energy because we got some expensive cards. We need something to untap because we have quite a bit of cards that tap and we want to untap them. And then now, possibly with Skyseeker Twins, we want some spells because we want to hit those spells to go in the to be able to play for free, or essentially 2 or 3. So you're essentially playing 2 cards for the price of 1, which I think is a good combo. So let's go ahead and add the Skyseeker Twins. That's a primary as well. Ooh, this deck is getting really close to being vulnerable to, I believe it's God's Eye release, where it just nukes all of the legendary, yeah. Banish, it banishes them, primary and legendary wonders. This deck is going to be very vulnerable to this. So because of that, there's a card that I like to play. It is a blue card, and it's a Thowlin card. What is it called? I think it's a spell. It's a nullify spell. I can't remember what it's called. I know what the art looks like once I see it. All right, so I know what it looks like once I see it. And I don't see it. Where is it? Here it is, right here. Ward of Serendipity. This is great because you can counter spells without needing to actually play something. So whenever an opponent plays a spell, this is an item that sits on your board. Once per round, you may discard a card. If you do, that spell is nullified. So I think since we're already running a lot of primary and legendary cards, this is a must. So we're going to put 3 of these in the deck. All right, now we said we want to find something that untaps. So let's look for something that untaps. We got Arcane Grasp. This one, gains control of target item and untaps it. Not really what we're looking for. We got Celestium Heights. This has the word untap because when you play a third boundless orbital land, it will untap. All right. Cooking Pot. This is a pretty American card here. Cooking Pot. Whenever you win, add a meat counter. What's more American than meat counters? But I don't think that's gonna fit the flavor of this deck. Crystal Silk. I don't think that's gonna do anything for us here. Galactic Sovereign Throne. Whenever you're playing Boundless, this is kind of a must-have. Let's put it in here because it's just such a powerful card. It only affects your enemies. But since it is a Boundless deck, I think we're going to go ahead and include it. Glacium Keeps the Land. We'll do lands later. Gravitational Grasp. Tap target wonder, untap another target wonder, and it's attuned. So if you have a Boundless land, it doesn't cost anything to play. This is exactly what we want. Tap an enemy and untap one of our own. Or the opposite. We could tap one of our own and untap another enemy's. I don't know why we want to do that, but hey, there we go. So let's throw all of these in here. And Blazing Phoenix Pub. Wonders you control become legendary. Then each player may untap non-land legendary wonders. This is exactly what we're looking for. This will untap everything. So yeah, we definitely want one of those. It is a land, but we'll go ahead and throw it in there. Sky Wraith, gain control of target card. Nah, don't really need that. Wind Reaver, gain control of target enemy. Untap it. No, we're not really looking at that right now. And then Vulcan Veil is a land. Okay, so that gave us some really great untap abilities. But again, we're still running heavy. If I go into the metrics, I can see that we still have a lot of cards, 2, 3, 4 energy. So I think we need some cards that give us energy. So let's go see if we can find some cards that give us energy. Again, we're going to search red, white, and blue. All right, let's see. So Astral Vanguard Armor. When an opponent attacks, no, +1 counters. That's not what we're looking for. Blazafel. Banish this. Target player loses all energy. No, we don't want that one. Command Bathrol. Again, not really the energy we're looking for. Drogothar is great if you can get a lot of energy. I don't think it's going to fit in our deck, though, so we'll pause, put a pin in that. Let's see. Energy Extraction. Horde 3. This costs 3 less energy. Now, it will destroy target item. This could give us something to destroy items, so keep that in mind. Ethereal Warden. Opponents can't see stone unless they pay you 2. Possibly. This is a possibility because we can put this down, and then if they want to seize the stone, they have to pay us 2 energy. But again, it's giving your enemy the vote. It's giving your opponent the vote on whether or not this card fires off or not. So I'm gonna pass. I don't typically do cards like that. A Feline Entity. Again, this is another one that you're playing Boundless, you kind of need it. So let's go ahead and throw it in here. And that's a secondary, right? Yep. It is also very expensive, right? We just added over 100 points just with these 3 cards here. All right, target player loses 1 energy. We don't care so much about the target player. All right, Market of Lost Wonders. Again, you're playing Boundless, you kind of need it. But if you tap it during an even round, you get 2 energy. So that's a huge bonus. Moonfire. Thankfully, here's one card that gets played in almost every deck that we can play in this red, white, and blue deck. Sacrifice free, draw 2 cards, gain 2 energy. Love that. We're going to get 3 of these mice in here. And next are Void Child. All enemy wonders in this realm are nullified. Gain 1 energy for each nullified wonder. I think this is very good. It does cost 5, but if they have a wonder heavy realm, this could be exactly what we need. A lot of portal decks will keep putting things in the first realm. Play this, you get a whole lot of energy in there. So let's go ahead and add him. All right, Phoenix Quill. Hey, we're running red, so let's go ahead and throw that in here. We're also running multicolor. Even if you're not running red, if you're running, say, Heliosynth, Petria, and Umberthine, it's still worth having a Phoenix Quill because you can play any card of any orbital with the Phoenix Quill. So anytime you're playing more than 2 colors, definitely throw in a Phoenix Quill. Tinkra. Horde 2, gain +1 energy at the round start. He costs 3. He's super cheap. Let's throw him in here. All right, we are definitely getting up in the card count here. Sigrid, she creates Viking tokens, so that's a pass. Sir Starbeak. I don't like this guy because whenever I open a pack with him at the front, there's nothing in that pack. I think I've seen 1 pack with the Starbeak at the front that had something like Formless Foil in it. I don't know, I just don't like him. Cards cost your opponents plus one energy. Now, again, we're not too much concerned with getting opponents. This one, whenever you play... Okay, so here's a good one. Whenever you play a wonder with 6 cost or greater, gain 2 energy. How many cards do we have so far with 6 cost or greater? Not that many. Not that many. So that's not going to help us. So let's go back. I got to re-put the text in. All right, we're almost done here. The Betrayer of Iron Skin. Whenever a player harvests, you may gain 1 energy. You know what? This does depend on the opponent. However, I have yet to play a game where the opponent doesn't harvest all their lands, or when I haven't harvested all my lands. Player harvesting is pretty much one thing guaranteed. The only reason they wouldn't harvest a land is if they're just flat out winning. So I think this one's a safe one to play. It's also even 2 cost, 2 power. That's a great curve. So I think this is a great one to have. So let's put 2 of these in here. Whiskey Raider. This one is a really difficult card. It's a great card to collect, but it's a difficult card to play. Wonders you control get +1 for each stone, but on round start, you have to pay energy or you lose it. So no, not for this deck. Zyrindra, opponents can't gain energy. So again, we're going to skip that one. Xenic, Ascend, just gets bonuses for each wonder. Now this one's an interesting one. Zephyrus, Skyer. On arrival, if target player has 10 or more energy, their energy becomes 5 and you gain 5 energy. This is a great card for the end of the game. Or if they're getting out some Heliosynth batteries early. Let's add it. But again, I think this is going to be on our cut list. All right. So we've got things that untap. We've got things that give us energy. We got things that give us seek. We skipped portaling. What are we missing here? Let's see here. What was the other thing we were talking about trying to get? Spells. That's what we were trying to get, spells. Because we can seek spells. So actually, we don't need card text. We need card type spell. All right, and let's see what spells we have. Specifically, because of the Skyseeker Twins, we're looking for spells 3 or less. So, or is it 2 or less? Let me read that again. Yeah, 2 or less. So we're looking for spells that cost 2 or less. Can I search for cost? I don't think I can. Okay. All right, let's see. Gain control of target item. That costs 3, but not really helpful. Look at the top 2 cards of target player's deck. Banish any number of them. Put the rest back. Again, we're stunning target enemies. That's really how we're interrupting. We're not going to disrupt the opponent too much outside of that, so we're going to skip cast out. Corruption Warp. This will go great with Phoenix Quill. This would Phoenix Quill would make all of our cards legendary. It is our cards, right? It's not all the opponent cards too. Let's see. Not Phoenix Quill. What did I say? Blazing Phoenix Pub. Wonders you control become legendary. So you can tap Blazing Phoenix Pub, make all your wonders legendary, and then Corruption Spell, all wonders are destroyed. This also works well because we have a lot of legendary cards in our deck. So I think this is great to have. You only get 1, so let's throw it in here. Cosmic Cataclysm, create angel tokens, not part of our deck. Divine Breach, banish, and on round 7, this costs 3 less, but it is super expensive, so we're going to skip it. Divine Conduit, copy the last spell you played this round if it's in the Abyss. And it is a tune, so it doesn't take an action, costs 2. I think this is really powerful. Let's throw them in there. I think, though, it might get left out. All right. You'll notice here, too, the explanation disappeared. So we're already at 50 cards. We haven't even added our lands. So we're going to have to take out quite a few cards. Destroy target item. We don't need that one right here. Enlightenment for the rest of the game. You get +2 actions. This is pretty good, but I don't think it's going to fit this deck. Entangle, again, focusing on disrupting the opponent. God's Eye Release, definitely don't want that here. Gravitational Grasp, we already added. Hush of the Void, draw a card the next time target player plays a card this round. Nullify it. If it costed 2, totally. But since it's not going to be grabbed by the Skyseeker Twins, I think we're going to skip it. Lunar Empowerment, up to 2 wonders gain a sin, not really what we're looking for. Mirage Terrain, a land becomes a wonder, not really what we're looking for. Open the Cosmos is great because we can get spells in our... We can either play the spells in our discard or play the spells, they go into our Abyss, or we can just keep drawing and then discard the spells. But again, as I'm looking at this, I'm wondering if spells are not going to be the way to go on this. Let's see. Punish. Banish target Wonder that battled this round. Pretty good, but also pretty expensive. Quantum Quell, not really part of our deck. Rend will help us destroy some cards. So I think that might be what red is going to do. Red is going to help us control the deck, ironically. So blue can get out there. So I think I like this one. Let's put 2 Rends in here. By the way, do you think this is Emma? Do you think she's being rended? Let me know in the comments below. Set Sail, Portaling, don't really need it. Soul Jar, Destroy Target Wonder. Where you control a stone, pretty good, but again, doesn't cost 2 or less. So I think the spells are not going to be a strategy here, even though we do have Thunderclap Flash. So I think the Skyseeker twins are not going to work out for us. So we don't have that many spells, so we're going to go and take them out. Rend will keep. Divine Conduit, again, not really necessary. Corruption Warp will keep as well. And let's see here. I think now we need to go look for some lands. So let's grab lands. And we already have so many lands. So let's get 2 of each color and see where that... Actually, let's get 3 of each color and see where that leads us. Because we already have the first. We already have Blazing Phoenix, which is a red. And we already have Market of Lost Wonders, which is a white or a boundless. So let's see what else we can get. Whenever a wonder dies, you may banish this. Destroy all wonders. Not really what we're looking for. I think we got enough destruction. You may put a protector counter. Not really kind of what we're doing. Celestium Heights. These are great if you're playing a single color deck, but since we have multiples and we don't even know if we'll have 3 boundless lands, we're going to skip these. Clear Sky is great. This is a great card no matter what your deck is, but it's great also because it's blue. So I guess we got all the mythic lands in our deck, so we'll add this one. That way some of our on-arrival abilities will trigger twice if we can get all the lands out. Duration Frontier, target opponent's cards cost +1 energy. Again, not kind of what we're focused on. Eclipse Enclave, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's boundless, draw it. I don't think we'll have enough to really rely on this, so we don't want to bury one of our good cards. Flame-Kissed Isle, Sophera, same idea. Whenever a dragon you control forges Brightstone, we don't have dragons, so we're going to skip that. Frostfire, great if you're drawing, but since we are not really drawing, this won't do much for us. Glacium Keep, whenever you play a 3rd Thalwyn land, you may untap this. Again, we're not really sure we're going to get all 3, so let's skip that one. Indra Citadel is great if it's in an even numbered realm, gain an additional action. So this will be great for the turns where we maybe get a lot of energy and we can get some more action. So this is definitely a play. Iron Citadel, if you control a wonder with flying in this realm, defending enemy wonders without flyings don't have their powers added. This is great, but I don't know if we have a lot of wonders with flying. I know we have, let's see here, even Galewraith doesn't have flying. So I think we'll skip Iron Citadel for now. Seafly Nest, whenever a wonder moves in and out, you can put a +1 counter on it. This is great for the flying, but again, I don't think we have too many flyers. Sunflower City gives you control, and this is one I know I was looking for, the Light Forge. If you control 3 or fewer stones, opponents can't attack in this realm unless they give you 1 energy or action. This is a great way for us to get energy. We are definitely adding 3 of these. All right, and this one is on Harvest. If you have 5 stones, you get an additional action. I think this will be our red land to take in. And we can take 3 of those. Vulcan Vale, 3rd Sulfur land. We don't need that one. Wave Whisper Bay. Look at the top card of your deck. You may put it back on top or bury it. This is very powerful. I think this will be the blue lands that we put in. And Whirlpool Bay. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it's that one, draw it. So we don't need that one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and save. And let's take a look at how bad we are here. So we got a 971. So surprisingly, we're still under 1,000, but we have 59 cards. 59 cards. So we have to get rid of 9 cards. Now, me personally, I like lands. And this one, we've got 15 lands. I think that's a great number. Most of my decks are going to run 14. I believe Tinsman said 14 is the average. 16 is a lot, but not necessarily bad because you're going to get that action back. And 12 is kind of the low end. But I think 15 is a good number because we're going to get that action back. You play a land, you're going to get that action back. Some of them, like Indra Citadel, you're going to get 2 back. So I'm okay with that right now. But I am concerned about the breakup. So we've got 4 blue lands. We got 4 Thalwind, 5 Boundless, 6 Boundless with the market, and 4 Blazing Phoenix Pup. And we've got a lot of Thalwind cards. In fact, I think a majority of our deck is Thalwind. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 20 Thalwyn Wonders out of 29. And we've only got 4 Thalwyn lands. I think we need to get some more Thalwyn lands in here. So let's see if we can get a couple more, and maybe we'll trim down some of our white lands, some of our boundless lands. Now the question is, which Thalwyn? Seafly Nest could be helpful because we do have a flyer. Whirlpool is not going to help us because we don't have that many Thalwyn lands. Iron Citadel, it could be helpful, but it's very dependent. Frostfire, again, we're not drawing a second time, so this is really tough. Now we do have the first, so I think for the first iteration of this deck, we'll just stick with the lands we have and just go with that. Now we do need a Coal 9 card. So what cards did we say we want to take out? I know at the top of our list, Marinus, because we don't have portaling, so we're definitely going to take Marinus out. Also Zephyr. Again, it's very opponent specific, and a lot of folks when they see you're playing Thalwyn, they know you're going to have this card. So I think the enemy gets too much of a vote with this one. And by the way, if you're wondering where that phrase comes from, I hear it. I grew up in an army town, and they would always say that, never forget the enemy gets a vote. So I always try to make sure that they get as few votes as possible. So we'll get rid of those 2. That's pretty cool. I like that it auto updates itself. All right, Feline, we've got 3 of these. Maybe we only need 2 because it's not part of our primary strategy. It's really just a protection. So let's get rid of one of those. Moonfire, we definitely want to keep the 2. We are not getting rid of Thorwing Thunderbeak. How dare you suggest that? Frost Savage is pretty expensive, and we only have 1 of them, and he's got to come out early. So unless we generate a lot of energy early somehow, which I'm not sure we can. I think most of our energy generation is going to come later in the game when we can get 2 stones or when the player harvests. So I think we're going to take Frost Savage out. All right, now we have 4 more cards to get rid of. Ward of Serendipity, maybe we can just run 2. Galactic Sovereign Throne, I think this is just required protection. I definitely want to get rid of these. I think we've got enough stun, so let's get rid of a Thunderclap's Flash. And I think we need these for protection as well. We want to make sure that we have a way to deal with enemies. So we can deal with enemies by destroying them. We can deal with enemies by destroying all of their non-legendary stuff, but this is very dependent on Blazing Phoenix Pub. Nexar is going to help us deal with them. We've got some Seek effects here. Let's take a look one at a time now. So this is very important to our Seek. Ryland is important to our Seek. Ronan Tracheus is important to our Seek. And this is good because a lot of our Seeks are looking for Thalwyn cards, so we want to make sure that we have a majority Thalwyns here. This is important to Seek. All right, this one will stun, this one will stun, this one will stun. So we've got some stuns and Seeks. We've got some controls here, and man, this is the hardest part of any deck building, is you got to get rid of a few more cards, and you just don't know which ones to get rid of. Maybe we go with 14 lands. Maybe we get rid of a Lightforge, since we already have... So we have 6 Boundless, 5 Thalwind, 4 Sulfera. So yeah, I think we can get rid of... Actually, we only have 4 Thalwind as well. So let's get rid of a Lightforge. I hate to do that, but I think we get rid of one and we run 14 lands. So let me grab... Why is my scroll all messed up? Here we go. Okay, I can't scroll in the middle there. All right. Well, might have to go... Let's do this. Save. Switch tabs here. Okay, now will it let us scroll here? Oh man, I hate to have to refresh this. Yeah, the scrolling is broken here. I can't scroll down on my main deck. That's crazy. Okay, let me refresh. Okay, did I break something? Oh boy. Let's see. I can't scroll down here. I can't scroll down my main deck. It's like I'm stuck in this, stuck here. Okay, let's pull this here. Let's pull this here. Goodness gracious. Okay, let me exit out. Go back to my decks. Go back to the one I just made. Oh, maybe it's because I was zoomed in here. Let's see. Edit. There we go. Okay, maybe it's because I was still partially zoomed in. All right, so we're going to get rid of a Lightforge. And let's see here. We need to get rid of 2 more cards, but also take a look. This is part of the fun of and challenge of deck building. 867 points. If we can lose 117 points, this puts us in a very different bracket. So that's something to be very aware of. So let me pause the recording because you don't need to hear me, or you don't need to see me sit here in silence and contemplate. And I'll be right back and let's make our decision. All right, I don't know if this is the right idea or not, but one piece of overlap that I saw is actually with Galactus Sovereign Throne. And maybe some people watching this are like, duh, you should have saw that minutes ago. While this is untapped, enemies with arrival abilities are nullified. That's very powerful. However, some of the ability of Galactic Sovereign Throne also lies in its second ability. When this is tapped, enemies with tap abilities are nullified. But since we're running some stuns, enemies with tap abilities are already going to be pretty much nullified because we're going to stun them. And it's going to tap them and keep them tapped. That's a little bit of an overlap. So the question is, do we want to keep Galactic Sovereign Throne here just for the first ability? That's a really tough question. That's something that you have to really answer for yourself. Now, this is where the same deck can go multiple different directions. Additionally, Feline Entity of Dreams. You know, how many people are going to be targeting our wonders? Because a lot of our wonders, you know, they really add up together. It's almost like death by 1,000 cuts. But is this something that we're really concerned with? So I think ultimately I'm gonna get rid of Galactic Sovereign Throne. That's a really tough choice, but I am going to nix that. Let's see here, and where does that put us on points? That brings us down to 825. So we are still going to be in a 1,000-point bracket. And again, I don't buy into the fact that if you're in a 1,000-point bracket, you need to be as close to 1,000 points as possible. It's all in how you play the deck. So let's go ahead and finish up here by playing, giving it USA. It's a meme deck. Happy 4th. All right. And for the banner image, we don't have any good red, white, blue. Maybe we go with here. Here we go. That looks cool. Even though Sulfera is like the least part of our deck. All right. Very cool. So we've got our red, white, and blue deck here. Let's go back to decks, my decks, and USA, USA, USA. All right, perfect. And now what I like to do is I like to go into Tabletop Simulator. Let me put that on this desktop so you can see it. And we are actually going to not play a game, but we're going to do a couple of draws to see how this deck draws up. All right, so here we are inside of Tabletop Simulator. This is how I grab the code here. So I'm going to go grab the TTS code from the Codex, and I'm going to bring it in here. Zoom in. For the deck, and if you want a refresher on how I do this, you'll go watch my Codex video from last week. And if you want to see a tutorial on how to play Wonders in TTS, Tabletop Simulator, let me know. And I will do a video on that if there is demand. I'm going to shuffle this up. And then all I'm doing right now is just to see how the hands come out. So I'm going to draw 7 cards. By the way, I can imagine if you've never seen Tabletop Simulator, this is probably wild for you. But yes, you can play on the computer. Okay, so first hand, only 1 land. That's kind of a red flag. All right, so let's see what we mulligan. I'm looking to mulligan expensive cards because I want to get cards out early. So I'm going to mulligan Ronan, and I'm going to mulligan 1 Nexus Void Child. Because of the Crystal Mouse, we can get some energy early, so we can put this out when we need. So we'll just mulligan those 2, and let's see what we get for our starting hand. And we got another land. So we've got a red and a blue, mostly blue in hand. So I think I would start with this hand, okay? So now let's play how this would play out. And again, I'm just looking to see how cards are drawn. So we're going to draw our card for round start. It's round 1. I would play a Whirlpool, Wave Whisper Bay, and this lets me look at the top card and put it back or bury it. And this is a Seek card. So am I going to be able to Seek? Let's see. I can stun on arrival, Seek 3, a wonder, cost 2 or less. So yeah, this would let me do a pretty cool little combo. So I'm going to put this on top. Okay, and for my next turn, I would play this wonder, Renade Hopmaster. It is basically free because I have the Thorwing link. So I will play her. And then on arrival, seek 3 a wonder with cost 2 or less. Well, look, there's one right here. Boom. And he's flying. So when I play this from a seek effect, I can copy that seek effect. So I will play him here. Whoops, there we go. And I get to do it again. So I will seek 3 a wonder that costs 2 or less. Okay, there's the spell. There's a land. Give me a wonder, 2 or less. Nope. All right, so that's a problem. Not enough wonders, so we got a bunch of spells there. All right, now in this realm, I have power 2. I may attack. I don't know what they would have out, but let's say I do. I use my last action to attack. All right, and again, this is, not a science here. All right, now we go into realm 2. Stone comes out, draw for the turn, and we get a Phoenix Quill. Okay, that's not bad, not bad. I would go ahead and play Phoenix Pub. Give me that Sulfera link. Then I would probably, let's give another shot at the Renade Hopmaster. Seek 3. There we go. Perfect. So Mouse comes out. We've still got 2 energy. Mouse gives us another 2 plus drawing. Could be good. All right. We could play another Mouse. We've got 2 power here, but let's say maybe we don't attack. So for my last turn, let me actually play a Phoenix Quill. All right, and then let's just say they battled and won that realm. All right, round 3. So I'm kind of liking the draws that are coming up here. Actually, we get 4 energy. All right, first action, I always like to play my lands first. All right, then let's go ahead and sack the Mouse. That is free. Draw 2, gain 2 energy. All right, now we get to tap target wonder, untap another target wonder. Okay, so we could definitely play this to seek another Thorwing wonder. We can play her to stun. So let's do that. Let's say we stun. Okay. Next turn, we tap her to stun something, right? All right. And then maybe we play this. We got Attune Boundless. Now we have a Boundless link, so it's only 2 energy. Okay. Maybe we tap one of their wonders and tap one of ours. Maybe we tap again. So I like the way this is playing so far. I think this is playing really nicely. We've still got an action and we've still got 4 energy. Okay, so we can't really play that. Let's use our last action here to play a Volcanic Waste. All right, so now we've got Horde 5 on the board, so we want to start getting some stones. So next turn, 3, 4 energy plus 1 for the stone. All right, draw a card. And we get another Crystal Mouse. So this is kind of what I do. So now, this is what I do. I'm not going to spend the whole video going through this because I'm not really playing a game. But I am double checking how the cards are coming out. So I'm going to go put these cards here, put them on my deck, give it another shuffle, and then I'm just going to do this a couple more times to see how the cards are coming out. See this hand right here? No lands. Okay, so it hurts to put Arius away. So I'm going to put Arius away because he's expensive. I'm probably not going to get him out. I'm going to put Corruption Warp out, bury that one because that's expensive as well. And I'm going to go ahead and put Ward of Serendipity because I have 2 more. So let's see if I can get some lands out of this draw. Okay, 2 lands. So that's good. As long as I get 2 lands in my drawing hands, I'm happy. Okay. And let's go ahead and do 1 more. Give it a shuffle. And we'll do 1 more test draw. All right, Indra. All we got is Indra. Okay, so let's see here. This guy, Horde 2, he could be very powerful early. Oh, we got a Blazing Phoenix Pup. We don't have our Thorwing link. That's going to be tough. We've got 3 of these, so let me mulligan Gravitational Grasp. We'll keep 1 in hand. Let's go ahead and put 1 in hand. Well, no, because he could be super good too. Let me go ahead and put a Thorwind away, and we'll just mulligan 2. So let's see what we can get. Still not the best, but we could play it. We could play it. All right, so that's how I test a deck when I build it. I might also try adding a land, but Tabletop Simulator is a great place to test decks, and you can do this whether you have the cards or not. If you don't have the cards, have fun in Tabletop. For me, I like to play decks that I have the cards, so this is great for me to put the cards that I have together without worrying about putting some wear and tear on them or sleeving them all up to see if the deck works. So yeah, that's how I build a deck. And now I've got my USA deck, and hopefully I'll be able to find someone to play with this and make a video for you guys. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Have a happy 4th of July, and I will see you all in the next video. Adios.